Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes.
Andrew is downstairs making supper, and I am 5 days late, and I took a test earlier today that was just like the 2 lines that pops up in your Prego, and the control didn't even show. I'm trying to be really quiet so he doesn't hear me. The package of pregnancy tests that I bought today had a digital one too, and I just took the digital. Do we see that? I don't know if it's backwards or... Now I need to figure out how I'm gonna tell him. Wow. Hello, I am sitting on my front porch, you can say patio, just daydreaming about this baby and how our life is gonna change. It is November 9th, I think, Tuesday, 2021. I am pregnant with baby number 2. Yesterday we had our anatomy scan. Your hands are blue. Ooh, someone colored with chalk. Okay, go play. I am about 20 weeks and 2 days pregnant, and we had our anatomy scan yesterday. We were very nervous about it. We didn't know what to expect because we had a little bit early pregnancy scare, so to speak, earlier in pregnancy. And I've been very blessed with a baby boy. He is not a baby anymore. He's my little man. He's 3.5. Didn't have problems conceiving. I had a pretty normal pregnancy and a C-section. I can share that later, but he's been healthy and great, and we haven't had any issues. And so with this baby, it did take us a little longer to get pregnant, but we weren't like actively trying. I wasn't tracking anything. Just kind of did what we did with him. If we get pregnant, we get pregnant, and if we don't, we don't. And we eventually got pregnant. It took us about a year of not using protection to get pregnant. So it started off good pregnancy. Anyways, the pregnancy started off great. I had a little bit of abnormal things for me that were different from my first. I was a little bit more like nauseous just if I waited too long to eat, or if I wasn't cognizant of having like protein with every meal, which was different. I never had morning sickness or anything like that with Barrett. So I had that, but other than that, it was pretty much fine. Smooth sailing. Been around like 12 weeks. I did the NIPT genetic screening, and that's when things got interesting. I did my NIPT. I didn't do that with Bear. Didn't use the NIPT for the genetic screening with Barrett. It wasn't offered to me when I was pregnant with him. So I did the quad screen with him. But this pregnancy, it was offered, so I did the NIPT, and I figured because they look for fetal DNA that it would be great because I could find out the gender early. My husband really wanted to know the gender. I didn't, but you know, for planning purposes, I get it, so we'll just do that. So I did the NIPT. It takes like 2 weeks to get your results. 2 weeks went by, and like I said, I was feeling fine, and the results came back that there was not enough fetal DNA. And so I was shocked, but I was like, okay, well, my provider and everything said it was normal, that it can sometimes happen. So we'll just do a redraw. It doesn't cost anything to get a redraw. And you'll get results another 2 weeks. So we did that again, waited another 2 weeks. So that result came back the second time. The NIPT came back inconclusive, not enough fetal DNA to determine risk factors or gender. So then that threw us for a loop, and my husband and I went down the rabbit hole, did lots of research. We're both nurses, did lots of research, had a lot of worry about what that could mean, and a lot of prayer. And my doctor ultimately just said, I can refer you to a specialist for genetic counseling, but what they would probably end up doing is doing the quad screen, which is like the original OG form of genetic screening that they would do, and what I had done with Barrett when I was pregnant with him. So I said, yeah, just draw me for that and we'll just get that done. I did that, waited another week and a half for that result, and that week and a half was really long. So that was a total of 5.5 weeks, almost 6 weeks of not having results from genetic screening, and that was a hard wait. It really made us think, like, if we had a baby with an anomaly, what would that mean? How our family dynamic would be different, how we would prepare. For us personally, it wouldn't change like going forward or what we would do. We would continue on the pregnancy even if it wasn't compatible with life, if the baby did have an anomaly. But it was just a lot. It was really hard. I had a lot of tears, a lot of sleepless nights. My husband didn't sleep. It was hard. So anyways, the results came back from the quad screen, and it was negative, meaning there was no additional risk factors. It just felt like a huge weight was just lifted off of our shoulders. I just was so relieved and grateful, to say the least. We didn't really share with a lot of people what was going on. A handful of people knew, and they were praying with us and being our prayer warriors and checking out on us, but we didn't really share with a lot of people. But that was a huge relief. But then my mind went to the anatomy scan, and I wouldn't feel complete relief until my anatomy scan came back, and I did that, and everything was normal. And that was this last Monday, yesterday. I had to switch hands. So yesterday was our anatomy scan. Like I said, we were very relieved from the quad screen that everything was normal and came back okay. But I just knew I wasn't going to feel 100% okay until the anatomy scan. And really not even 100% until this baby was in my arms. So I did the anatomy scan, and she was very thorough. The sonographer was just so wonderful and very educated. And this is my field of nursing, is OB, and I learned so much from what she was telling us and how they can diagnose things in utero, and what soft markers they look for and different things like that. So it was really cool, and everything was good. Like I said, she was so detailed. It was more thorough than I feel like my anatomy scan was with Barrett. She counted all fingers, all toes, all of that stuff. She was explaining everything, and I'd say maybe it was the same thoroughness as with him, but that the sonographer didn't explain it as she was doing it. And this one, she just was so great and explained everything in great detail and what she was looking for and showing us on the screen, and it was very cool. I wasn't allowed to take video, but I may have recorded some sounds, so I may share some of that. But it was really cool. Everything turned out perfect. We found out the gender, which we won't be sharing just yet. Stay tuned for that. And it was so good. It was a huge relief. So yeah, let's pray pretty much my pregnancy so far. Had a little bit of ups and downs, but I feel good. Baby's measuring on track. Actually measuring a little bit smaller than how Barrett was, which bodes well for me because I'm hoping to toe-lack and have a UBAC with this baby, so that's good. Just continuing on the pregnancy. So stay tuned. I'll give more updates of how baby's doing, how I'm doing. Maybe do it a little bit more regular since I'm pretty good into that second trimester. And we'll go from there. New to me, I just really want to document this this journey of this baby and our life here in Texas. I've been wanting to do this since we moved, and it's been 3 years and I haven't done it. So what better way to start than with our new little babe on the way.
Alrighty, so let's pick up.
So are the lungs fluid filled right now?
The lungs are actually completely closed right now. So they're kind of like wet plastic sacks right now. They're stuck together. They have fluid in them, but it's only because of the alveoli sacs have fluid around them. So when babies are doing their practice breathing, they're breathing fluid in, but it only goes into the bronchial tube.
It doesn't go down into that alveoli side. Okay.
Nope, because that's still all closed up. Until baby takes that first big breath and pushes the diaphragm down, the chest actually isn't big enough for the lungs to open yet. So
when the baby takes the first big breath, diaphragm drops down, those alveoli pop open, and then everything starts?
Yep.
That's
and
amazing.
Then fetal circulation
That's unbelievable.
actually starts to go back, or reverses and goes in the correct order then, because the system starts to reverse.
That's unbelievable.
I know.
That is unbelievable.
That's what I say all the time.
That's a miracle.
It's sci-fi.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
like we couldn't make something artificial
No.
do that. There's no way. We are light years behind that. That's unbelievable. Wow.
Yep. That's what makes this just so, and it's such a finite process too. So all it takes is one cell, not necessarily being wrong, but being out of place or being in a different position to end up with something else.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground.